We are creating a community of creative people who meet up and exchange their experiences. We meet with companies, we meet with business people, and we try to create projects together. I love it when young people like you come up and say, how do you do that? How does the beer get into the can? The brewery needs experts in order to fine-tune the can line, which uses these tops, but runs at 60,000 pieces per hour. I was trying to develop a particle dust sensor for the IT challenges for the summer when I got the opportunity to prototype it and test it safely at SITMP without any personal financial risk. The only thing I have to invest is my own time, which I can afford to lose. We launched the Challenges project for companies and city organisations for the city because we know that young people need to get their references somewhere. They need to learn project management and they need to try out prototypes. You start it like this. There's a fuel cell on the side here as well. If everything's okay, it should work. We've limited the speed to 30% so it doesn't crash into anything. Of course, we cooperate with a number of secondary schools, but also with the University of West Bohemia. We try to work with other organisations. I could name the guys from Tech Heaven who manage their co-working from here. FPV Pilsen is a community of people who go out and fly their drones. Drift it and give someone a go? Yeah. Don't make any quick movements. If anything happens, I'll pull you away from the net, like now. Don't fly out of the net. Ideally, stay inside the net. If you want to, you can try landing it.
This is what you can see when you are piloting a drone.
Okay, yeah.
Can you see something?
Yeah, I'm about to go to the building.
Well, it's really nice to see. I think that we could use drones like that as well. I'm thinking of when I get back to see how we can start a project or two using drones ourselves as well. Yeah.
With SITPort, we created the Our Company's Project Day, and we basically motivate children to continue their studies and show them how they can start their own businesses and how to create added value thanks to their understanding of technology and the ability to create great marketing. Now come the first steps that every brand has to go through if they want to get somewhere on Instagram, and logically that's to establish it. I might want you, for example, to reach the point where you have an Instagram account for your company. You've chosen an interesting name which could even theoretically be searched for. Of course, a lot of our activities overlap into working with high school students, so they are able to assemble, for example, their own IoT sensor. And I also think about where the business potential is in all these smart IoT things. Have you ever clicked that I'm not a robot, yeah? And you're not robots, so you're still okay. Now, you've just done that puzzle where you had to figure out whether it's a traffic light, whether it's a window, and so on. That's a beautiful example of you actually training artificial intelligence. We've been working with the Information Technology Administration and the SITPort project for a long time. At the first Smart City Hackathon in Pilsen, which we organised here, clients came with 8 projects. You're applying for an ID card, or you want a garden in front of your restaurant, so those forms are really awkward. We try to analyse the data from the server of the municipal police in Pilsen, and we use a system that creates maps and graphs so that it's possible to see problematic areas.
I originally came just to help at the event, and suddenly I was programming. We were working on an app for kindergartens that would work as an online apology for kids when they're sick. Have we got that saved as well?
Put in Index 1. I work as a programmer and developer, and my role in the team was to advise and help the other team members with what they were developing. We created a dashboard with the help of Kibana and Elasticsearch with a little Python. On Mondays and Tuesdays, police officers hand out a lot of fines, and then gradually towards the end of the week, the number of fines decreases. I myself can see that it's very important to not stagnate in one place. It's important to see how it's done elsewhere, how people fresh to the industry do it, how it's done in other companies and in other cities. In order to be successful, we need to be able to offer our products abroad, to start building international business experience as soon as possible.
We have been supporting startups since 2010. We are delighted that we were able to bring over foreign guests from Silicon Valley, New York, Singapore, and London.
The European market is one market, the American market's another, South American, Asian, Middle Eastern. It's not about one market as better or worse than the other. It is really just about being able to prove their product in a new market.
So in the 9 years that we've been doing this, we've accelerated more than 1,200 companies, and in total they've raised about $1.2 billion in capital from Silicon Valley investors.
Within SITPort, we have a budget for foreign trips, for programming competitions, such as when I visited Madrid in the holidays. It was a great success and a fantastic experience for me, and I also got the chance to meet the people from IBM. I try hard to understand new technologies. For example, at the moment I'm learning to program quantum computers. Now let's put the virtual reality goggles on. During the year, we organise Innovate Pilsen, a festival for students and innovators. We are also co-organisers of Highlight the Future for children from primary and secondary schools. We organise Drone Fest, the largest unmanned flight festival in the Czech Republic. The machine is also perfectly stabilised, a stabilised system so the image doesn't shake, it doesn't rock. There's an individual engine in 3 axes, and right on the shaft of that engine is the camera. And you can see, this pilot is a beginner, and within a few seconds, they're a professional. It can turn on a dime, you could say. It's awesome. This event was ranked among the largest of its kind in the world. Even Mr. Prevenair was there. He's a very interesting person. Thanks to his experience, he's been involved in several films and TV series such as Harry Potter, Mission Impossible, and Game of Thrones.
In this kind of symposium where people are gathering data information on a system, it's not everywhere that this kind of symposium happens. In my country, Belgium, it does not exist, which gives you face-to-face contact with reality, and it gives you the strength later. It will give you the strength later. You have a dynamic that does not exist elsewhere. This dynamic you have there will benefit from that maturity.
One of the biggest challenges is how drones can be beneficial in the urban environment, for example, for the emergency services, such as medical delivery. So in the future, there will be great interest in the new generation of experienced technicians. Allow me to introduce our satellite, Pilsen Cube 2. It's one of the smallest satellites that are now standard for scientific purposes. We measure the efficiency and applicability of microcontrollers in space. We want to actually measure the effects of radiation on memory. When you say that you take photos in space, it sounds interesting. But when I say that I'm interested in what happens to nerd memory when it's hit by positively charged gamma particles, unfortunately, it doesn't sound quite as good. The fact that someone comes to SITPort, be they a student or anyone else interested in creating their own business, startup, enterprise or just a project. So we try to help them not only with premises, but also of course we support them on their journey through their business with various workshops, with legal advice. We try to meet up with these people, listen to their needs and respond to them, to move them onwards and upwards. It gives me a great feeling. It's fantastic that they really do it with passion and enthusiasm, which is so important. And I think that throughout the Czech Republic, this group of people is really envied.